What up? It's your boy Todd coming to talk to you about rejection. And I want to talk about actually 3 levels of rejection that I've seen in my progress. And some of these concepts I'm going to share come from one of my mentors, Owen Cook. He's brilliant. Okay, so when you are out and you get rejected, okay? Like, for some reason the person isn't interested, I want to talk through kind of a couple of things that will help here, okay? First, I want you to understand that rejection is like kind of real, but it's kind of not. Basically, when someone meets you, they're going to make a snap judgment based off your appearance, your tonality, the way that you approach, and they are going to either decide that they want to continue to talk to you or not. Okay? And a lot of that has to do with their beliefs and like their perception of the world and the media that they've consumed and, what their boyfriends have been like and like just this concoction of things that you really have no control over, right? So, like, when you're out there and you're talking to a girl and she, like, quote unquote rejects you, it's like, yo, homie, she doesn't even know you. She doesn't really know, because like guys will take rejection like to the core, and it's like she doesn't know you. Like, she's really making this based off a snap judgment, and it really has more to do with like her beliefs. I'm gonna assume you're like doing the best that you can to put your best foot forward. Like, you're literally just doing the best that you can, right? So that's one of the first tenets, is just, and I know that this is more of a cerebral than versus getting it in here, but like really understanding that it's a snap judgment. They don't really know you. It really has more to do with them and their energy and what's going on and what just happened to them and all of these other things than it does you. Okay, cool. That's the first, frame to understand. Okay. Let's talk about 1,000 out of 10. And this is something that I learned from Owen Cook that I think is probably step one, when you're out and you are going to talk to multiple girls and you're going to get rejected. Okay. 1,000 out of 10 means, how did it go? It was 1,000 out of 10. The reason it was 1,000 out of 10 is because you stepped up, because you actually took the action. Another reason that it's 1,000 out of 10 is, I'm hoping you're doing this sober. Like, you're, not drinking, and you're literally putting yourself in the situation and you're stepping up. Okay, no drugs, no drinking when you're doing this. I'm not making this a rule. I'm just saying it helps this frame land. All right. In any given city, how many guys do you think are out there sober, hitting on multiple women, stepping up and really putting themselves out there? Almost none. Okay? So if you're doing this, it's not that you're 1 out of 1,000 guys that are doing it. Like, you're 1 out of like 10,000 or 1 out of 100,000. Like, it is very rare for men to be sober, stepping up like this. Like, I barely know. Honestly, I barely know guys that step up even after they've had a couple drinks, much less guys that are doing it sober, and that's what makes it unique. So, 1,000 out of 10. You really want to get this in your nervous system, okay? And this isn't just saying 1,000 out of 10. Like, the fact that you took the action and you stepped up is the win, period. It does not matter the actual result of the interaction. It's the fact that you stepped up, okay? And this microphone is going to cap this, so you're not going to be able to hear it. But what I recommend is, either in your bathroom or in your house or in your car or in any space where you can really let it go, I want you to yell, 1,000 out of 10, motherfucker, 1,000! And I want you to yell it like that, to feel it in your nervous system, to actually get 1,000 out of 10, to get it in so that you feel that, so that when you do go out and you step up, no matter what happens, you're like, 1,000 out of 10, motherfucker, 1,000. Okay? That is step one. I would get that in your system first. Like that first frame in 1000 out of 10. 1000 out of 10 doing it sober is the first one. And you should get to a point that when you leave the interaction, you yell 1000 out of 10. And I did that for a while, and no one really cares. It's out, it's loud, and like normally I'll yell up because I don't want to blow it out. Like I'm fine using my full vocal projection when I'm talking, but yelling at the top of my lungs just outward, it's a lot, and it's fine. I sometimes I do it, but that is step one: is going out, stepping up, and no matter what happens, 1000 out of 10. Another one that Owen Cook says, which I love, is like, who the fuck would have the balls to do that? So 1000 out of 10, who the fuck would have the balls to do that? Get it in your central nervous system. Listen to me. You actually need to get it into your central nervous system. You can't just say 1000 out of 10. Who would have the balls to do that? That's not landing. You know that's not landing. So to understand what it feels like, find a place where you can yell, either in your car or whatever, and yell those out. Do it a couple times. Don't blow your voice out, but do it a lot until you feel it. So now you have a felt sense for what it's like. And then when you go out next time, after every single girl that you talk to, you turn around and you yell 1000 out of 10. Okay? So that is like level one of rejection. Hilarious that we make videos like this. It's hilarious that this is even a thing. Okay. So that's level one. Okay. Level two. And I really would not move on to level two until level one is like in your system. And if you tell me it's in your system and I see you out and you're not able to yell 1000 out of 10 after every single one and you're still like derping around, it's like, yo, you didn't even do step one. Okay. Step two is finding something funny in the interaction. Okay. Regardless of how it went. Here's my technique for it, and like other people can do what they want. I don't necessarily like to make fun of other people at their expense. So like I always find it easier to make fun of me. And those interactions, so there's kind of like two flavors to this. So those interactions in the beginning of the night, there will always, for the most part, there will be some sort of control, right? Like we've talked about control versus release and like getting into social freedom and getting really open. And in the beginning, you're going to be like a little bit more tight. Right. Okay. So that is what I tend to make fun of, where like I go up and then I do whatever. And if it doesn't work, I'm like, here's me, like, welcome out. Like, whatever it was that I did and that I said, I'll do it from that tight, controlled space. So let's say I go up and I say, oh, you guys, look really interesting. And they're like, no, thanks. And then I'm like, there was a certain part of me that was wanting a good reaction, right? There were certain, and then, so I'll replay it. I'll be like, here's me. Oh, you guys look really interesting. Please like me. Please validate me. It's some making fun of the fact that I'm kind of trying to control. And that will be present for a lot of you, especially in the beginning. Like there will be that stiff part, right? So I'll even mimic that to make it fun. So I go up and I'm like, oh, like, what's up? Da, 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 da. And then they're like, no thanks, not interested. And then I'm like, here's me, like, oh, welcome in. Like, I hope that you, but please, and like that kind of tight, controlled, like, here's me trying to control. That will kick that out of your system quicker because there normally will be, some amount of control. Okay? So that's kind of level two, which is if there's any control in the system at all, it's making fun of the fact that you're trying to control it. You're like, look at me, I'm Mr. Serious, and I said this thing, and burr, 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 and here were the words, and here's me wanting it to go well. Please. Whatever. I'm a moron. Okay, so that is it being focused on control. So level 1000 out of 10, the fuck would have the balls to that, getting that in your system. Level 2 would be being able to make fun of yourself and the fact that there's like some control in the system, because I guarantee you, like, especially guys starting out, they're like really wanting a good reaction. It's like, here's me wanting a good reaction. Okay, cool. Next level. You will hit a point in social freedom where you're really free and there really isn't that much control left. Like that, the way that you know there's no control is like there really isn't anything to be made fun of because there really wasn't any wanting of a good interaction. Like that second step of that making it funny will continue to work as long as there's any control in the system, like you trying to control, or there's any want for a good interaction. That one will work. Once you go up and there really isn't any want for control, and there really isn't any want for, because you're like really, really free. At this point, you really move into wanting quality rejections. So like I'm at a stage now where like I don't necessarily care if I get rejected. I really care more if I was like as authentic me as I could be. Like if there was any hiding, and I made that another video about this weird rejection that I got where I was like, hey, welcome out, like, congratulations. That's like a little bit of a shtick. You know what I mean? That's a little bit of hiding, right? Like it's not 100% my authentic self. So the third phase of this is like you get to a point that like rejections don't really bother you. It's really if you're not getting what I would call a man's rejection. And a man's rejection to me is you really put yourself out there. Like you really took your personality and like punched through and expressed yourself fully, like no hiding, completely socially free, and not in a shtick at all, like no hiding. And we all have it. We all have these like words or phrases that we say, and it's just kind of like our go-to, right? And so you get to a point where you really want a quality, like a man's rejection, and that is you step up. It is full expression of your personality, no premeditation, no thinking about what you're going to say at all, no premeditating. You are fully up, you are fully in it, and it's man to woman. You don't even need to say, it doesn't have to be direct, like, oh, I think you're attractive, oh, I think, like, she can feel it because you're expressing yourself authentically and the attraction is there, and she can feel that, like, yo, this is a man. I can feel the energy coming off of him, and it's going to be a yes or a no. And so you get to the point that, like, if you kind of get one of these rejections where you're hiding more and you're kind of behind a shtick, like they don't feel good, and like you feel better when it's like really you and you're really putting yourself out there. And at that point, when you get that rejection, you want to be able to make fun of it, and really the only fun to be made is the fact that like you were still wanting a good reaction. So even though you showed up fully, and then if it goes terrible, you're like, here's me wanting people to like me. Like that's really what's left to be made fun of. You can make fun of her reaction because she's like, nope, no thanks. Like it will literally blow them out, and they'll be like, you not procreating. So that's kind of like, that's really the third level. Level one, you takes a while to get in your system. I don't want to pretend like you're going to get this into your system in one night. Like I really would focus on the 1,000 out of 10 who would have the balls. Level two is making fun of like pretty much any wanting to control or wanting a good reaction. Level three is like moving into no premeditation, full expression of your personality, very socially free, and like taking a man's rejection where there's no hiding. It's like you are stepping up and she can feel that it's man or woman, and like she will blow you out and be like, no, do not talk to me, or like, yes. And taking satisfaction in the fact that like you didn't hide. There was no hiding. That's like a trillion out of 10. Like a no hiding approach where you step up is a trillion out of 10. It is rare. Almost no one is doing that. Straight up. Sober, not premeditating, full expression of personality, man to woman, like fully, authentically putting it out there, like a quadrillion to one. It's super, super rare. And what's left to make fun of there is any wanting of a good reaction and like any like, no, please like me. Okay. So that is my current understanding of rejection and kind of how I approach it. I'd love to hear you guys and in any other ways that you kind of play with this, or things that you guys have discovered when you're out, or that you've seen be really fun or work really well. And whatever, I don't want any bullshit. Like, if you're not out there taking action like consistently, don't even bother. Like, please only write if you're like legit out there, like stepping up, like, night after night, week after week. Love to hear what you're doing. All right, Todd, out. See you out or back in here.